Raymont Anderson was speaking today, and so I Googled you. Because I didn't have a bio, so I thought, well, let me see what we have out there. And what I really like, it's all good. It's all good, right? What I really particularly liked was your mission. And it says, to live, move, and be active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities through his service and through the transformative teachings, technologies, and practices of New Thought. These people and communities recognize, realize, and materialize their full divine potential. As a minister, he's active serving by traveling along the East Coast, where he speaks frequently at various unity churches and centers for spiritual living. In addition to this, he teaches workshops and classes on subject matter related to empowered living, spirituality, service, communication, holistic health, and wellness, and authentic living. In 2017, he also became a licensed minister with the Centers for Spiritual Living. Welcome. Thank you so much. Visit his website. It's all good. It's all good.
So let us start with happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, Science of Mind. Happy birthday to us. So, how old are you?
100.
100. The teachings of this. Is anybody here who doesn't know what this is? I feel like I should do the Joel Osteen thing. This is my textbook. I believe what it said. Okay, so, yeah. Just saying. So, 100 years, and today being the beginning of the year, I thought I would show up in my birthday suit. So, you don't get to see this thing very often, so enjoy it while it lasts. So, but we're talking today about this whole idea of, what is this then? Like, if we believe religious science, we come to a CSL, we are here. We do treatments, we do this, and we meditate, and we do, but okay, so, but what is this? Like, if the average person were to say, oh, hey, Tracy, how are you today? I'm doing well, and you? So, I was thinking about inviting you to my church on Sunday. I already have a place where I go. Oh, what church do you go to? That's one. What church do you go to? How many of us have ever been asked, what church do we go to? And then some of us question, is it a church? Or is it a center? Like, what's the tomato kind of thing? Because on one hand, it is. No, it's not what we would consider a traditional church, but when we think about what church means, church as a sanctuary, church as a place of comfort, as a place of support for the community, then yes, this is very much what that is. So, someone says, what church do you go to? How do we respond? Now, suppose we say, well, it's not really a church. It's more of a spiritual center. Oh, so what exactly does that mean? Like, what do you practice? What do you, and some of us, I know, because many people have come to me and asked the question of me. Reverend Ray, I don't know what to tell people when they ask.
You need the elevator speech.
Yes. We need to really know what it is that we practice, what it is that we believe. So, one, this being my, I think, third version of the book that I got, that some got lost, some got stolen, some just fell apart. But on the front of this one, it is a very good clue, the Science of Mind. A philosophy, a faith, a way of life. But even there, what does that mean? So let's venture into the etymology of a couple of things. Philosophy. The term philosophy was probably coined by Pythagoras. Philosophy is the study of general and fundamental problems concerning matters such as existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. Got that? Breathe that in for a second, because that's what we do, that. Then, a faith. Faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something, a strong belief in God or in the doctrine of a religion based upon spiritual apprehension rather than proof. Now, we don't typically refer to God the way many people refer to God in terms of faith and spiritual practices and religion, but just remember, right now we're putting God in parentheses. Then we go on to, it is a way of life, the typical pattern of behavior of a person or group, the habits, customs, and beliefs of a particular person or group of people. Now, the most important thing related to this, related to why we show up at a CSL, why we come together for classes and workshops and for Sunday celebrations such as this, is because on some level the material in this book, the material that Ernest Holmes practiced, the material that Ernest Holmes taught, the material that Ernest Holmes has handed down to us for the 100 years that we have been here, is because this is supposed to be able to change and transform our lives. That's the root of the entire thing. Is this teaching is something that we can use to transform and transcend and transmogrify everything that comes to us in this earthly human experience. Right? So Sue started us off with meditation. Soham. Right? There's another Sanskrit phrase that is very similar, is Om Tat Sat. I am that. I am. Means the same thing in the Hebrew when it is Yod He Vav He, the forbidden name of God, that when Moses said, actually I should be looking at the bush. So, I know my people well enough to know that when I go back down this mountain, they're going to say, so who sent you? They're going to want a name because we are so big on names, and such begot, who begot, who begot. We are very name culture sent. So they're going to know, tell them I am sent you. Say what? Who? Say this again. Sorry, the snap, crackle, and pop. Say it again. I am that I am. Yod He Vav He. Right? I am that. I am. And then in Sanskrit there is also Tat Tavam Asi. You are that. You are it. Now, check this out. Suppose we transform this I am that I am to I am the I am. That's what everything in here is ultimately getting us to transform our thinking and awareness to understanding, is that we are not simply this flesh and blood body. That we are far more than just what we see in terms of separation. Because it's easy for us to forget. It's easy for me to see, when I look in the mirror, I see Ray. I see Ray's brown face, his brown eyes. I see that large nose. I see Ray when I look in the mirror. It's easy for me to come here and I see Sue and I see Queenie. I see separation. I see Celeste. I see separation. I see Ray. I see separation. I see individual manifestations of the one. That no matter how many forms and appearances that God has chosen to show up as, it's all still one. This is our reminder that it's all still one. That when a situational problem shows up and we don't like it, that it is an effect of a first cause. This reminds us, go back to what is thinking about this thing as a problem. Because it is not a problem except in the mind that is thinking it is a problem. So science of mind says, what determines that that is a problem? Is it in essence, in and of itself, a problem? No. Because on some level to believe that, then I have to believe that God is a problem. That God is in error. That racism is, that sexism is, that because many of our brothers and sisters of other religious faiths, that's what they believe. Either they believe that God created it, or God allows it because that's what the devil did, and God is like, cool, go ahead and do it, but you only got so far that you can get to go. But it's one or the other. Here, we take the responsibility off of this ultimate divine chess game, and we say, we are the ones who determine. Science of mind is the science of how we are using our mind to remember and reflect and use and utilize our divine nature. That we get to create because that which we are is creation itself. Many times we refer to and we talk about that we are of God, that God is in us. Yes, 'tis true, 'tis true, 'tis true. But many times we get really shy about going to that next layer of mathematical computation where it is, so, if God is within me, plus God is supporting, and God is everywhere, all present, equals, then I must be it. There is nowhere where God is not. It's everything and everywhere. Emma Curtis Hopkins reminds us that all of substance and matter is ultimately of spirit. All of it is made of spirit stuff. There is nothing that is not. Go back and go back and go back and break it down until you, where is, there it is, there's spirit. It's there in everything, as everything, moving through everything, all the time. So, Science of Mind says, challenge your problems by going within and finding that place. Why did Yeshua say, the kingdom of heaven is within? And seek ye first the kingdom, and all else will be added. Peace of mind will be added when you go within to that place where you know that there is no problem, there is no disease, there is no sickness, there is no poverty, there is no racism, there is no sexism, there is no homophobia, there is no, because it cannot exist in the mind of God. We experience it in the tangible only because we humans have agreed to believe in it. We believe in the problem, and like minds, have you ever heard the phrase that misery loves company? We know these phrases. And Murphy's Law says, if something
can go wrong, it will go wrong.
It will go wrong. We know these. We have been taught them. We have become ingrained with them. They are a part of us, right? Now there's a, don't laugh at me, This isn't the moment. This is supposed to be a serious, teachable moment. Many years ago, I don't remember where I got this from, but many years ago I was watching a horror movie, and it was about clowns from outer space or something, I think.
One of my favorites.
And the way the movie starts, there's a phrase, and it says something to the effect of, you cannot hide from your fears. They are a part of you, and they know where you are hiding. So every time the boogeyman jumps out and we try to run and put the blanket over, you can't get away. The boogeyman knows where you're at. The boogeyman can. But it's the same thing with all of these other things. Our problems. Our belief that drop one shoe, sooner or later the other shoe has to drop. We are walking on eggshells and pins and needles waiting for things to go. It's been going really great for the last 2 months. I know it can't last but so much longer, and we expect. I think it was Myrtle Fillmore or Eric Butterworth who said, you don't get what you pray for, you get what you expect. Because it's the expectation. Because many of us will say prayers based upon great, yes, and we pray and we pray and we pray and we pray and we pray, and as soon as we let the prayer go, we go back to, but I know that's wrong, it's not going to happen. We immediately go back into that mindset and frame of mind and paradigm and consciousness that is of the world, which is why we're supposed to be in it but not of it. We have to walk from here to Starbucks, and we have to go from here to Dunkin' Donuts and Safeway and work, etc. But we're supposed to walk and talk and be something different. We're supposed to walk and talk and be something that knows who and what it is. Not simply that we are divine, but that we are divinity itself showing up in human form. And if we are divinity itself showing up in human form, what could we possibly do that is not touched by the hand of God? That means when you are cooking, your cooking is a sacred, holy act. When you are cleaning the house, it is a sacred, holy act because it is God cleaning itself. God is sweeping. God is mopping and vacuuming. God is washing dishes for the purpose of cleaning the dishes so that this thing called food, which is also God, may be taken in by this thing which is also God to strengthen this body temple, which is also God, so that this being that is called by our name can then go out in the world and do what is God's business to do. And the science of mind brings us back in every moment to that foundation that says, no, you're God. Yeah, I understand that you were abused as a child, but you're God. I understand that your employer said this, or the other, but you're God, and so are they. Yes, I understand that this may be what's going on in the state of affairs in the political feast, but you are God. And what does God need to worry about? What does God need to fear? Yes, and I understand that, we, the human selves, yes, we're going to be afraid of things. Oh, I saw a spider. Yes, we are going to be afraid of things. Things are going to catch us off guard, and yes, and that's still good, because it's all God and it's all good. So even in the midst of being afraid, don't dismiss it. Science of mind says, stare at it directly, eye to eye, face to face, and call it for what it is. In my former life as a Baptist Christian, there was a passage that would say, when something or a spirit shows up, the only way to know if that spirit, that angel or whatever was of God or of Satan was to test it. Test it. If you cannot say, in essence, if something with wings showed up, and I wanted to know, are you of God or are you of the enemy? Because I don't know. Then I need you to proclaim the name of, because if you can't proclaim the name of truth, if you cannot speak truth, then I know you are from that which is Satan, the father of lies, the liar, the deceiver. You are that which comes from illusion. So when something shows up, test it. Is it of truth? Because if it is of truth, it is only going to say you are, the essence of what you are is health and well-being. The essence of what you are is prosperity and affluence and abundance. Think about this. How many trees, and I don't expect an answer, how many trees currently exist on the face of this planet? Just think about that. How many trees? Bring them into your mind's eye. Every tree of every type, of every nature currently existing right now. And then think about the number of leaves or pine needles or whatever that are on every single one of these trees. Now think about these trees and all of the leaves that they have shed since the tree was wherever it is. And think of all the trees that have ever been since the beginning of time, and every leaf that they have ever held, ever dropped, ever regrew. And now think of every tree that ever will be, and every leaf that it will grow and drop and regrow. If that is not a perfect divine demonstration of abundance, then I don't know what is. How many grains of sand on every beach on the face of this planet? Abundance. How many blades of grass? Abundance. How many species and types of apple and orange? Abundance. And that which does that, that which is that, is right here, right now. Neil deGrasse Tyson said something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, so do not Google and quote me, paraphrase, that there is something like, if you just took the amount of atomic atoms, molecules, and stuff in your single digit of a finger, there is more in that than there is in the entirety of the Pacific Ocean, kind of thing. Like, we have so much quantum atomic energy and stuff. Somebody said a while ago that if you took one hair and we knew how to extract the actual atomic energy of that hair, that would be enough to power the entire North American continent. One single hair. How much energy do you then have? Because see, it's easy for us to say, I'm so tired, but I gotta go make the donuts. But I'm so tired. I've worked all day, I'm tired. I did this all day, I'm tired. Are we affirming that we're tired because we expect to be tired? Because if you go to Hallmark or Walmart or wherever and you get a card that says, you're 30, ha ha ha, you're getting close. You're 50, wow, you already got 1 foot in the... Somewhere, is this in our minds? Do we have a paradigm that says, at this age, I should be more tired than I was in my 20s? At this age, I should be expecting to start to... Are we expecting this because it's what's been conditioned into us? Because this says, challenge it, question it. Are you of truth? Are you of that which is going to be life-affirming? Are you reminding me who and what I am? Because if you're not, then you're lying to me. Anything that says you're not good enough is a lie. I don't care what. You're not good enough at math. Lie. You're not good enough in how you look. Lie. You're not good enough in your relationships. Lie. You're not good enough in. Lie. Because you want to balance your checkbook? Then tap into the one mind that created checkbooks, that it is showing up as checkbooks. Stop telling yourself what you can't do, what you're not good at, and start saying infinite possibilities showing up in, as, and through me. What might be possible for me if instead of seeing a defect, I saw it as perfect? What would I be if that shift happened in my mind? What would happen if instead of seeing things as impossible, I realized that it's I'm possible? Science of Mind reminds us that as we believe, not just here and not just what comes out of this thing, but as we think and feel and believe, there's a passage in the Bible that says, you have not because you pray amiss. Now, looking at the etymology of amiss, you pray awry, it actually means you are praying with the wrong motivation. Because if we are praying from a state that says, I want, I want, I want, then you're affirming wantingness. You are affirming that there is an absence of. And Science of Mind says, no, there is nothing missing. There is nothing that needs to be taken away, added, supplemented. You do not need an amendment to the constitution of who you are. You are whole, perfect, and complete right now. So maybe if we started speaking and praying from that changes what the prayer now says. I'm not praying for improved health. I'm praying from health itself. I'm not praying for a better job and more income and a better relationship. I'm praying from the state of consciousness that says it already exists. I've said before that anytime a problem shows up, like let's think mathematical problem first. Mathematical problem, 2 + 2 = 4. The only reason there is that problem is because there is a solution. No problem can show up unless there is a solution. No one pops up with the problem of orange divided by apple equals, I don't know. Like that doesn't happen because orange divided by, it's not a problem. So problems have solutions. Questions have answers. There's a Chinese saying that says, many people ask questions to which they already know the answer. But see, we go to that place of mind in the prefrontal cortex of the social mass consciousness that says, but I am only me. I am merely a human. Somewhere from here, but I am a sinner. I don't believe in that but somewhere in there that thought is still there. But I'm not perfect, but I'm not good enough, but I'm not, but I can't. Mind you, if you really, really, really want to experiment with this and prove to yourself how possible you are, find something that it is you want to do that you believe you can't. And then find someone who's already doing it, who is differently challenged, differently able than you. Meaning, we have legs and we have arms. But there is a gentleman by the name of Nick Vujicic, who is a Christian motivational speaker, who surfs. Has no legs and no arms, but he surfs. How many in this room surf? Ray's like, yeah, once in a while. How many of us golf? Nick Vujicic golfs. No arms and no legs. I'm not going to tell you how.
Oh, I'll be on you.
Yeah, there you go. Skydives. Speaks to hundreds of thousands of people per year, if not millions. No arms and no legs. I want a relationship. He's married. No arms and no legs. How many of us think, who would ever want me? No arms and no legs. And has children. How many of us quantify or qualify who we are Find someone. There are artists who are blind who paint and sculpt and draw. There are dancers with no legs. There are dancers in wheelchairs. There are ways to express the infinitude of what spirit is when we let this small-minded idea get out of the way. Science of mind reminds us, get the small idea out of the way. Anybody recognize this?
Yes.
What is this?
Science of mind.
Anybody in here who doesn't know what this is? So Science of Mind magazine. In the very beginning, not like the very, very, very beginning, but very close to the beginning, there are 11 statements that are the we believes, the Declaration of Principles, the we believes. If we ever really... Several months ago, my mother went missing. And my brother calls and he says, Monty, Mom's missing. Well, what do you mean? So I went to the house, like 10 o'clock, she wasn't there. Okay, well, maybe she went to the bank or something. He comes back at 11, comes back at 12, calls at 1, comes back at 3, comes back at 4, calls at 5. My mother never, not since she used to drink heavily, has she been out that long. Now the sun is starting to go down. My mother hasn't been out after dark unless she's with me or someone since like 1997, 98. It's now dark. It's 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. And he says she's still missing. I think I'm going to have to call the police. And I felt it in me. I felt it. So what did I do? Tracy, I got to go for a walk. I put on the coat and jacket and I started walking around the block. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one absolute, indestructible, self-existing cause. There is, and I recited and I went through. We believe that heaven is within. We experience it to the degree that I right now become conscious of it. We believe in one infinite, over and over and over again, till I calmed that mind that wanted to worry. And then I got to a place and said, can God get lost? No. Can God be missing? No. Then my mother cannot be lost or missing. We may not know where she is, but God as her knows exactly where it is. Am I at peace with that? Even if that means that I, in this form, may never know where she is. Yes. If she's found alive, but hurt, but God, okay. If she's found dead, but God can't die. And if it is her physical self that has transcended and left, and she has now gone to life after life, and I'm okay. And I walked until I got to a place where the principles in this said, you know what this stuff means. Do you believe it? Because if you believe it, then what do you now do when this fear comes up? What do you do when this worry comes up? What is yours to do right now? Because if you hold this consciousness of fear and worry and lack, and then you go out with it, you are spreading it. You are now infectious with fear and worry and dread. My brother right above me, Tyrone, had a stroke several months ago. And Tracy and I went to Pittsburgh to visit and whatnot. And I had to clear my mind and get to a state of, before I go into the hospital room. Because I want to go into the hospital room and see him laying in the bed, but know that he is well. Whereas other people are going in there and they're like, oh. That doesn't help him. It doesn't help him. So to go in there from a state of mind where I know that in essence, he is whole, perfect, and complete, increases the likelihood that his physical self will now match that. Does it mean it will? No. Because that is his individualized spiritual journey to go through. But it is not mine to go in there and see him as woe is me. Science of Mind reminds us that this is a path to how you can live a better and greater and even better and greater life experience. That whatever it is you desire, you want to do, is not just you desiring it. It is God as you wanting this for itself. Every dream, every aspiration is the universe wanting to birth this through us. If we give it the space to do so, if we allow that. So therein lies the question. Do we sit with what this is teaching us and make it an applicable and practical philosophy, faith, and way of life? Let's treat it. Grounding ourselves in this breath, this divine and holy ruach, breath of God, breath of inspiration, breath of life. And going within with this breath, centered on the truth of what I know, that God is all there is. One infinite, absolute, magnificent power and presence showing up in, as, and through all that is seen, and not yet seen. All that is heard, unheard, and not yet heard. All that can be felt, not felt, and not yet felt. It is the infinite potentiality of all that ever was, is, and could be. And that infinitude is right here, right now, present in, as, and through me. So much, in fact, that I know that these are not the words of Raymont, but these are the words of the universe speaking about itself, through itself, back unto itself, into every ear that hears. And knowing this, I know that this philosophy, this faith, and this way of life is, has been, and forever will be transformative in my own life. And that as I walk this walk and talk this talk, it gives others the opportunity to see, to know, to experience, and to then transform. So what I know right now is that by divine appointment, everyone in this room is shifting, changing, expanding, growing. Everyone in this room right now is illuminated, enlightened, showing forth the divine love that is God, Spirit, the universe. That every issue and problem that may come forth is merely an experience, an effect, but not a cause. And knowing this, I know that there is no man, woman, circumstance, or situation that can deny, detract from, denounce, or destroy the absolute connectivity that we have with the One, the thing itself, the absolute power of all that is. And knowing this with gratitude, I know that we are right where we, as God, are meant to be, doing what we, as Source, are meant to be doing. Ever at choice point, choosing the greater and greater expansiveness of our consciousness, right here and right now, in this breath. There is only now. So moving forward, we know that this is not a happy new year, unless it is a happy new you.